Welcome to Brain Power with Dr. Echo, where each week we discuss how your family can boost brain health by addressing mind, body, emotional, and environmental health. And now here's the episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Brain Power with Dr. Echo. I have a very special guest today, Dr. Vladimir Barayev. He's an amazing pediatrician. He loves kids. He has a wonderful practice in Staten Island. And I'm going to let him introduce himself fully, but I just wanted to tell you you're in for a treat today. So welcome to the show, Dr. Vladimir.
Thank you so much for having me on. It is a pleasure to be here, Dr. Echo.
Yes, happy to have you. So introduce yourself some more to the parents so that they know all about you.
Absolutely. I would love to. So my name is Dr. Vladimir Barayev, and I'm a board certified pediatrician, and I specialize in autism diagnosis. And I have my own direct primary care concierge practice that I work here on Staten Island, New York, in children and families. My practice is now 3 years old. Yesterday was the third anniversary of the office. And we've been able to do a lot for the community, been able to help families with a variety of health needs and reestablish and focus on the patient-doctor relationship so that they get the exact kind of care that they're looking for and have peace of mind knowing that someone cares about them and their kids. One of the interesting experiences that I've had as a direct care doctor over the past 3 years is that we've had some homebound children with special needs that could not come out to see the doctor, but they needed certain services. And there are not really any pediatric options for them. So I would go to their homes and I would see them and take care of them. And it's been beautiful.
That's fantastic. Oh my goodness. Just like the old days, right?
Just like the good old days. I got my doctor
Right.
bag, pack it up, pack my lollipops, pack the stickers, go to their home, say hi to their dog, say hi to their grandma, and back home I go.
And do you get food while you're leaving?
Oh my goodness. Food, alcohol, drinks. I mean, I am a very professional about it. I don't try not to have all full buffets in people's homes, but I do take some of their kind gestures to thank them for that. They appreciate what I do for their family. And
Yeah.
it's been very interesting. And it's been also fascinating that we've got a lot of advice from families because we have professionals from like marketing and accounting and sales families and architects and aerospace. And it's just been fascinating to meet these people. And I honestly previously didn't really get to meet that much in my career. I was in working in a very specific areas in New York City in the past. And now I've like expanded my horizons by a lot.
Okay. That's wonderful. And I just wanted to point out for any parents who might be asking what is DPC, really the big thing for me with it is that we get to spend the time that we need to with each child. So we're not blocked into, oh my goodness, you can only talk about one thing at one visit and you have 10 minutes or 15 minutes max. Dr. Vlad will take the time he needs to take care of your children, right?
Absolutely. The word time is key here. Parents really want three main things when they choose to have a direct care doctor. They want access. They want to be able to reach their doctor and not have to jump through hoops to get to them. They want a good quality doctor. They don't want to have to go through like other doctors that they haven't met before or doctors, assistant staff before they see them. They want their doctor because that is the most trained, most qualified person in the office to take care of their child. And thirdly, they want convenience. So they want kids, school age children, they get sick mostly in the middle of the day in school and they get sent home from school. They want to see the doctor between that critical 3 to 5 o'clock time slot. And a lot of offices don't have much openings at the end of the day, but I make sure to leave those spaces available for families that your child does have an issue while they're in school, come after school and see me. And they love having my cell number to be able to text me any questions or concerns, so we can have follow-up conversations and we can work on things. So when we look at health, is what we're going to be talking about throughout our interview today. When we look at someone's health, if you want to change something with your health, it's a gradual change. It's not going to change in a day. And during that whole process of gradual change, you need that cheerleader on your side. You need your coach. You need someone guiding you and supporting you all along your process and path of change. Just like what our business school does for us. It guides us along on our path to success. So I do the same thing for my families in the practice. They have my direct number. They don't have to come in every time when they need guidance. It's convenient. Just text me and we communicate and we keep you on the right track. If there's ever a deviation, get you right back on the straight and narrow path.
Yes. So if you're listening to this and you're in the state of New York, find your way to see Dr. Vlad. You will thank me later.
Yes.
So,
Anytime.
so
Anytime, go ahead.
Dr. Vlad, you said you have this amazing, interesting topic you wanted to talk to us today about habits. So tell us how
Yes.
important habits are for parents, for children, and how that impacts our health.
So I came across this realization after finishing medical school and having some challenges in my own life. I personally was dissatisfied with the way that I was taking care of my body and my health and my weight. So I understood the medicine and the science behind nutrition. It's pretty direct and simple. It's nothing super complicated about, right? Whole food, plant-based diet. Don't eat too many calories. The more calories you eat, the higher your weight's gonna go. Try not to eat processed food. Keep it simple, right? Those people that understand doesn't mean you can act on it. There's another component of actually incorporating that into your life and getting results out of that. And that other component was one of the ways to accomplish it is through your habits. So if we think about our lives, some research studies have indicated that the majority of the time, from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, we're in autopilot. We're not really purposefully thinking about each and every step that we do. Our brain's default mode is to go into a habit loop because it's more energy efficient. Your brain doesn't have to think hard. Okay, how do I tie my shoes? Okay, press it. How do I drive a car? Okay, press turn the key. Then it is no. It's a habit. It's automatic. You know that you've noticed that when you've driven sometimes on the way home that you may have dozed off mentally. You didn't close your eyes, but you weren't. You were like daydreaming, and then before you know, you're already in your driveway. You don't even remember all the streets you went on because you were autopilot. And we do this 80% of our day. That's what the research indicates. 80% of our day. There are ways that we can construct powerful, healthy habits without having to force them into our lives, but by taking little steps at a time. So the 3 books that I read that really enlightened me to this and how powerful habits was one, a book called Habit by Charles Duhigg. The second one was Atomic Habits by James Clear. And the third one was Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. So in those 3, they really outline, okay, if I want to get this results, what habit is it going to take to get me to that result? And then I started applying it to my own life. The result that I want to weigh less, for example. So I applied the principle of adding small habits. So in the beginning, what I said was, okay, habit number 1, every single piece of food that goes in my mouth, I'm going to write it down in a food journal, log it. Because research has proven that when we journal our food, when we keep track of it, we tend to be more mindful about our eating and we tend to choose healthier options. And vice versa. When we're stressed and tired and we're not thinking, we'll just put whatever in our mouth, whatever the next thing that's on our table.
Right.
And the environments that we're living in, they're obesogenic. They promote us to add unnecessary calories that are not necessary for survival, just from a standpoint of convenience and pleasure. But that doesn't get us to the healthy and optimal life that we would really want to have.
Right.
So I use that habit. I said, every time I put it in my mouth, I'm going to do it. And then I worked on it until it became ingrained in me. Then I said, okay, I also would like to be more active and move more. So how do I establish a physical activity habit? So I began with doing one push-up per day only. That sounds insignificant, but by doing it every single day, I created a mental vote in my head saying that I am the kind of person that does push-ups. And over time, I gradually increased it and increased it. And to the point where I was doing 25 to 50 push-ups a day consistently because of habits. Just how you can build good habits, you can also lose them if you're not consistent with what you are doing. So in my practice, when I work with children, pediatricians, we're the ultimate preventative medicine machines. So whenever you see the word preventive medicine, they talk about that for adults and heart disease. That starts in childhood.
Right.
So we're doing preventive medicine right from the womb, the moment they're born. And our colleagues in OBGYN support us as well. And as well as our colleagues in internal medicine support us as well in preventive health throughout the lifespan.
Right.
But I say we're the ultimate ones because there are certain habits we learn as kids that don't really have a drastic impact. Some children who eat junk food all the time, their metabolism is so fast, they don't feel the repercussions of that on their bodies. But once they hit that certain age, when their metabolism slows down, and they have those same horrible habits that they had when they were kids of eating junk food, all of a sudden they see this spike in poor health outcomes.
Mhm.
Why? Because they never really established appropriate habits in childhood and never developed them. You can apply this to all the 5 major pillars of health in my view. And I do that with my patients in my practice. So in my eyes, the 5 major pillars of health are, of course, number 1, sleep, nutrition, and in no particular order. They're just health.
Right.
Sleep, nutrition, movement, physical activity, stress management,
Mhm.
and your ability to cope with life, because life is, believe it or not, stressful for everybody. The only people that don't have stress are in the grave.
Right.
And number 5, the 5th pillar is, since we're social animals, our relationships with other people, right? So by keeping all 5, and you can subdivide it, of course, like say, oh, but you missed something like your intimate relationship versus your friendship. That all flumps into relationships, right?
Right.
You can be, but I like to think in general aspect. I'm a general thinker.
Right.
So you can use habits to improve all 5. So let's go through how you can use habits to improve all 5
Wonderful.
and
Let's do it.
some examples. If it's okay with you, Doctor.
Yeah. Let's go for it. Okay. Let's start with
All
sleep.
right.
How can we improve?
Let's start with sleep. Sleep. Number one habit. When I get home, I'm going to leave my cell phone in the living room and not in my bedroom every day.
Love it.
Tiny habit. Better sleep. You'd be amazed how much that works wonders.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything else. I'm going to leave my cell phone in the living room and go upstairs without it. That's one habit, right?
Okay.
There are many, many more, of course, and you could build upon them. But that's one example. And that's a tiny habit. That's an atomic small, I call them the quantum habits,
Yes.
the string theory habits that tell you just the smallest could
So
possibly
tell
do.
tell the parents why the cell phone. Why is it important to have your cell phone away from your bedroom? Because it's the same thing that goes for the kids. The kids need to have their tablets and their phones and all of that, and even smart TVs outside of the room. So why?
Wow. Oh, you set that T-ball up for me to knock that one out of the park. Talk about a softball question. I love it. I love it. Every pediatrician will tell you the answer to this question. So we know that for a number of reasons. We know that the blue light off of phones affects our release of melatonin in the brain, which will delay our sleep times.
Yep.
And the constant pinging and alerts notifications will wake you up and arouse your brain versus allowing you to wind down how we naturally were supposed to be. I like to think back when we were evolving from the savannas of Africa, there were no cell phones. It was the sun and the moon. It was daytime or nighttime. The lions were going to come get you or not get you. It was very simple life back then. And as we have become more evolved and more complicated as a society, we're adding things into our lives that go against the nature which we evolved with. Our nature was, if it's light out, we're awake. If it's dark out, we're asleep. Now, if it's dark out, it's still light in. The lights are still on. So
Right.
I think that pretty much covered. Did I miss anything as far as why we don't want phones there? Anything else you
No,
want to add
those
there?
are the big ones. Yes, those are the big ones. Correct. And besides, we want the kids to learn that the bedroom is for sleeping and not for 10 million
Absolutely.
other
Not for
things.
playing.
Yes.
Yes. That yeah, you're right. I forgot that part. Is that you don't want to do anything in your bed but sleep in it. You want the kids to their minds to associate bed, okay, sleep, not playing and
Right.
reading and writing, all the other stuff that we do in
Right.
bed.
Yeah.
Then so sleep, that was the big one. And I think sleep is probably the keystone of all the habits that I've established in my life. That was probably number one. That's probably number one, I would say. Then
Behavior, right? If you don't sleep, your behavior will be completely off.
well, absolutely. Sleep affects all the other four domains. So if sleep affects nutrition. We know that people who sleep less tend to snack more throughout the day because they're always tired and looking for an extra hit of glucose. They're gonna drink something with a lot of sugar in it or something with extra caffeine in it, which makes it harder to fall asleep the next night. Well, sleep affects your nutrition and your weight. Then your relationship with other people. Well, if you don't sleep well, you're cranky. You're not gonna have a good relationship. You're not gonna be patient with other people. You're not gonna be kind and loving with other people if you're always grumpy and cranky and tired. I know that's true for me. When I'm cranky, don't be around me. I'm not this fun. So then with physical activity, if you're tired, you're less energized and you want to move less. And there are research papers showing that people who sleep less tend to move less also. They don't want to move around and vice versa. If you move less, you sleep worse. Your sleep quality is worse. They affect each other back and forth.
Right.
And then the final pillar of health.
I have a
Oh,
question.
go ahead. Yeah, Doc.
Why is it important for us to move?
That is the number one non-prescription drug that will affect all of any health condition you can imagine is improved by increased movement in the body. We have to move our muscles, move our bodies for so many reasons. If I could think of what's the number one reason for me, I would say it's mood and energy personally. By moving the body earlier on the day, the rest of my day, I have a lot more energy. My mood is much better, and it helps me stay focused and on task for my other pillars of health. So I can keep track of doing well for all the other aspects of health. And there are many other scientific and medical reasons, like moving gets the blood from our venous system back into our heart and flowing throughout our body. So there's no stasis of blood, right? So you don't get blood clots or something scary like that. Moving also prevents your body's natural every year of our lives as we age. It's not so much for pediatrics, but after a certain age, think of it over the age of 30. Don't quote me on that. Our muscle mass decreases, right? Sarcopenia, we age and we lose muscle mass. You can slow down the rate at which your muscles deteriorate by engaging in resistance exercise and moving them and testing them against gravity.
I like to talk about is your brain needs the most oxygen in the body. So if you don't move, you're not feeding that brain what it needs, and that brain will not function well. Hence, your mood will be off and you will be cranky.
Totally. No question
Yeah.
about it. No question.
Oh, yeah. But thank you for sharing that. I love those other examples. That's more for the parents, but it's important that parents teach their kids early on the reason why by modeling it, right? So we're all together in
Absolutely.
this as a family. So yeah. Good.
Absolutely. You can't practice pediatric medicine unless you address the whole family, right? There's no such thing as having a healthy child and everyone around them has poor health habits. It's a package deal, right? It's you're helping the family move towards health together as a unit because it's about their environment that affects our behaviors. The environment that how that old expression goes. Show me who your five closest friends are. Clearly, you are.
Mhm.
It's true for our families. Families who have issues, for example, with weight, their children also have issues with weight, and vice versa is true.
Yes, absolutely. Because yes, they're modeling it. Plus, I've had parents say, "Okay, child, are you listening to what the doctor said? You have to drink more water and you have to eat better food and you have to sleep better." But then I always go back to the parents like, "You're the one buying the food. Can you just your grocery list, please?" Because because if my friend here doesn't see the things they shouldn't be eating, then they won't eat them. So it's back to we the parents. We need to do better and we need to model things for our kids because they're like sponges and they soak up everything we're giving off. So yeah.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen?
Amen.
And habits work for parents and kids alike. We gotta
Yes,
keep that in mind.
absolutely.
So first, if with my recommendation and advice, if I can get a family to start adopting habits for the parents, those habits are gonna automatically rub off on the children because of, like you said, the modeling. They learn more from what we do than what we say.
Yes, that's so important. And what was the last? Have we done all five? I think we've done sleep, movement,
Relationships,
relationships.
yeah,
Okay.
I had five. Let's see: sleep, movement, relationships, nutrition, stress.
Yes.
Stress management. So things like mindfulness, mindful activities. This is the stress management. Man, we have a epidemic in this world of loneliness, anxiety, and depression.
Right.
And one of the reasons why you want to get that phone out of the bedroom is because this little device with a little social media engine inside of it shows you, look at how much fun all my friends are having and how much fun I'm not having. I'm such a loser.
Right.
No, you're not. This is not reality at all. Like if people are posting their wonderful lives, good for them. You know, stress management is a whole separate podcast in and of itself, but it's one of the five pillars of good health. And let's keep it simple, right? Let's talk about what is one habit you could adopt to improve your stress and anxiety levels specifically for that. And the habit is very simple. I want you to write one sentence per day about why you're grateful
Yeah.
and what you're grateful for.
That's a good one.
And one sentence per day. That's a tiny habit. Do it every day. It's like Dr. Yanni Friedhoff has this amazing quote in his book. He says, it's called the toothbrush level. Well, he calls things the toothbrush level because you can pack a toothbrush with you and any trip you go, and it's a quick 2-minute thing that you do. You can do it every day, and it's a minimal amount of effort you could put in. So a toothbrush level of a habit is writing at least one sentence about what you're grateful for today. Could be on your phone, could be on a paper, who cares? But that just thinking about what you're grateful for reminds you of all the wonderful things you've been blessed with.
Right.
First of which being waking up alive. Thank you
Mhm.
for that.
Yes. Yes.
Well, yeah, that we gone through all five.
I love it. And yeah, the gratitude is mind blowing because when you really embrace it, you can't be thankful and be complaining at the same time. The brain isn't so advanced to accommodate both things. So it's either you're thankful or you're complaining or you're feeling bad. So our brains love and I mean, it helps us as human beings to be more thankful because then we're easier to be around and then it opens up so much for us, right? It's not fair. Even if things
And
don't.
if you don't want to write,
Yeah.
here's another one. You don't want to write. We can do this together. Let's do a tiny habit together. Are you ready?
Okay.
Let us together do a box breath one time. We're gonna breathe in for 4 seconds, hold the breath for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and wait for 4 seconds. We'll just do one rep,
Okay.
and we just lowered our anxiety and stress levels. Are you ready? I'm gonna count us down.
Okay.
And go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. 4, 3, 2, 1. And wait. 4, 3. We just did the box. That was it.
Whoa. Yeah. That definitely takes away. I mean, it lowers your heart rate. I could feel myself.
Very nice. You see?
Cool. And that's a quick one. Anyone can do that. And if you teach your kids that, so when they're like upset, they're like, just do it together. That definitely strengthens the bond with you and your family. Yeah. That's great.
One of my mantras is I keep things really simple because once things get complicated, I can't wrap my brain around it anymore. Just keep it simple, simple, base, focus on the basics, the fundamentals,
Yes.
and get, can I tell you now, you know, the results of my personal embrace of habits was when I started doing this back in 2018, I lost 33 pounds and have kept it off for the last now 6 years.
Wow.
I
Okay.
don't partake in any special diets. I don't partake in any special exercises. I promise you, I'm not on Ozempic because my weight still fluctuates up and down. I
Right.
promise you, I'm not Wegovy right now. I did all of it with habits and affecting my environment to support my habits as well. So I want to share the power of habits and automatically making the right thing to do, the easy thing to do. So I pack my lunch. I know what I'm going to eat before I'm hungry. So I
Right.
have a habit to preempt things before things happen. That's my other habits, planning. I like to make a habit of planning things out.
Right.
So that's just an example of one thing that has really changed my life a lot. And before this, I was a doctor. I knew everything about nutrition that I needed to know and physical activity that I needed to know. I didn't understand how to apply it,
Right.
which is why many physicians themselves in this country, we suffer, and I did too, with fatty liver, heart disease, cholesterol, diabetes, and stroke. Physicians, nutritionists suffer with this. Physicians suffer with this. Just because you know it doesn't mean you can do it. Those are two separate things. Those are two separate things.
Absolutely. I love it. And you've just so simplified it. It's just start with one thing. And even if you just pick one of the 5 areas and you just work on that.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
read lots of places like 30 days and you've like solidified the habit. So what if you just, even if you just told yourself for the next week, do it a week at a time, if that's what works for you, but just one thing for a week at a time. Anybody can
Yeah.
do it. And it's even
Anybody
better if you make it like a challenge with you and your whole family, you and the kids.
competition.
Yeah.
The first one who falls off has to wash all the dishes for the next year.
Right.
High stakes.
High stakes, really high stakes. Oh, that will get there for sure. Yeah, I'm thinking about my teenagers and the washing dishes saga. That's a good one. You see that happy jacket he's wearing? Once he enters a room with that happy jacket, everybody has to be happy and healthy. Just immediately they see him. That's right.
Another habit, smiling.
Yes. That.
Uses less energy than frowning.
Oh,
And it's better
absolutely.
for health. Smile on the outside, you actually feel better on the inside, no matter how your day started out.
Yep. And you can share smile. That's a gift that doesn't cost anything. A smile. Let's share smiles all over. So
Absolutely.
what's your one last tip for parents on and kids on how they can easily implement habits to change their lives? Because really that's what we're talking about, transformation. So what's your last tip for how they can do that?
The last tip is all about starting small and being consistent. We like to overwhelm ourselves with the full to-do list of life that we have to do. In reality, none of that is actually necessary. There are a few basic needs that we have as human beings. And if you really slow your lights down and think about what those basic needs are, they'll come back to the 5 pillars of health. In my eyes, I prioritize family number one above all. Then I worry about uh, my community and my personal health in no particular order. My personal health probably goes second. And then I worry about having a good community to live in. And my personal health, I'll focus on the 5 pillars and I ask myself, which of my 5 pillars have I not really kept up with that well? And what do I need to reestablish? And what small things can I start doing today? Because the best time to start doing something is 20 years ago. But since you can't travel back in time, the second best time is right now.
Right now.
So think about one area of your life where you're unhappy and you're struggling with regard to health and say, what's the smallest thing I can do today and repeat and then grow upon it to get the result that I want.
Yes.
Because if you're given it, and the reason that these habits work so well is that they work on like the power of compound interest, right?
Mhm.
So if someone tells you, we'll give you $1 million today, or we'll give you a penny today and it'll give you double every day for 30 days. The value of that penny doubled over 30 days is worth more than $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like between $3 to $5 million. I forgot what the exact math was. You could type it out in your AI engine and ask like how much does it come out to, or Google it. I think it's like $3 to $5 million, some large, multiple millions of dollars as opposed to just $1 million.
Right.
But that's what happens when you are consistent and you are multiplying the power. But each day that you're repeating a small thing, you are reinforcing into your mind. So the next day it's easier to do it. And the next day it's easier to do it. It becomes easier and easier to do more of it. And then you're going to start seeing the results of it in your body and your health.
Yes.
I think you only wanted one final thing, but I decided to expound on that and say 3 final points. So thank you for indulging me in my very loquacious response.
Oh my goodness. That shows what an amazing and compassionate physician you are. And everybody in Staten Island and New York needs to find you. That's my two cents to that one. So, but thank you so much for being on here. And please tell our listeners how they can find out more about you.
So if you want to find out more about Dr. Vlad, there's a couple of ways to do it. So on my website,
Yes,
it's
we will post the link.
SI. I have it Instagram, Facebook handle is at SI Rivertowns Peds on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
And also on my YouTube channel, which is also, if you type in SI Rivertowns Peds, is the handle for the YouTube channel as well.
Wonderful. So yes, please follow Dr. Vlad. And if you live in the area, go visit him. He's an amazing doctor. So thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your wisdom about about the tiny habits that will transform your life. Really appreciate it. And we're waiting for that book of yours about the tiny habits and how it transformed your life. So you can come back on here and tell us all about it. Yeah.
As soon as I finish that book, I'll be right back here, promoting it as much as I possibly can. Although one of the things I plan on doing with my book is I really am consider just giving it away for free because I want to just spread the message out as far and wide as I can.
That's wonderful. So thank you again, Dr. Vlad. It's such a pleasure to talk with you and to do life with you as a fellow pediatrician. And thank you for the love and care you show to your kids that you take care of.
Light within me, sees and appreciates light within you always. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.
Yes, you as well. Okay, parents. See you on the next episode. Bye.